Good morning from Pastor Jonathan Hart and Robertsdale UMC. Welcome to today's Daily Devo. It is Monday, June 8, 2020. And today, in our 31-day challenge through the 31 chapters of the book of Proverbs, I want to hone in chapter 24 on verses 10 through 12. If you falter in times of trouble, how small is your strength? Rescue those being led away to death. Hold back those staggering towards slaughter. If you say, but we knew nothing about this, does not he who weighs the heart perceive it? Does not he who guards your life know it? Will he not repay each person according to what he has done? So this is an interesting little section, but the words at the beginning are the ones that got my attention. If you falter in times of trouble. If you falter in times of trouble, how small is your strength? And here is a biblical truth from the Old Testament to the New that we see in Proverbs chapter 24, and that is that faith, the real essence and strength of faith, is tested. It's tested through circumstances that we go in life. It's tested through trials and through times of trouble and distress. And let me first say that too many Christians feel guilty about negative emotion. When we feel fear, when we feel anxious, we remember that the Bible tells us not to be anxious, so we immediately beat ourselves up and feel guilt and shame over feeling anxious. But remember that it's the feelings that the persons of faith in the Bible were sensing that made them respond in the way that they did. So it's choosing what to do in response to those feelings. It's not a sin just to be afraid or to feel anger or fear or anxiety begin to rise up in you. It's the essence of our faith is proven by what we do with that feeling when it comes. And how we encourage our own soul to trust in the Lord, even in times when it's hard to do so. So it says, if you falter in times of trouble, how small is your strength? Rescue those being led away to death. Hold back those who are staggering towards slaughter. And then it talks about excuses we give for not helping other people in times of trouble. And then it contrasts the character of God. Does not he who weighs the heart perceive it? And does not he who guards your life know it? So God always helps in times of trouble. Sometimes it's easy when we're going through times of trouble just to kick into survival mode. And the true essence of our character and faith is proven in those moments because we're so busy worrying about ourselves that we don't respond to someone else that we see who is experiencing distress in some way, or maybe injustice, or being treated unfairly, or maybe they have a need that no one else is meeting. And we make excuses for not reaching out to them because we've got our own problems. And Proverbs again says, if you falter in times of trouble, how small is your strength? So I want to encourage you today. We started a series on the book of Joshua yesterday. And there's a song that I've shared in the description of this video that really came into my family's life about a year ago. It's called Haven't Seen It Yet by Danny Gokey. And I'm going to ask that even if it's not your style, it may not be the style of song that you listen to, give it a shot for the sake of the lyrics. And if you listen to it and say, yeah, this just isn't my thing, find a song or a hymn to lead yourself in worship today. You heard me correctly. Lead yourself in worship. Because that's part of what this coronavirus season is teaching us, is that we're responsible for our spiritual development. And certainly we receive resources and wisdom from other people. We receive accountability and spiritual nourishment from other people. But our discipleship first is our responsibility. And so lead yourself in worship today. Make yourself spend time with the Lord. Make yourself sit down and spend at least a few minutes in prayer today. Consider what all is weighing on your heart and then turn that over actively to the Lord. Lead your soul in worship. Did you know King David was one of the best people in the Bible at leading his own soul in worship? When I hear the song, Bless the Lord, O my soul, and the songwriter is telling his soul to bless the Lord, I immediately think of King David because the Psalms are full of lyrics like that, where he's actually telling his soul to put its hope in the Lord, even when he feels it not doing so. But the song is called Haven't Seen It Yet by Danny Gokey, and it was given to my family about a year ago, and we were even praying it over another family in our church, a family for whom I'm still even wearing this bracelet. But we were also praying it over the church because we felt that God was giving us this great vision that honestly was hard to believe in, and it was hard to say, Lord, are you really going to do this? Are you really going to lead us into such a new, amazing season as a local church? And I'm still believing a year later that God's answer is absolutely. We're looking through the book of Joshua, and we're thinking about what it means to be the people of God on the cusp of the wilderness, having left Egypt behind, and yet having a promised land before them that they really don't know how to walk into. And it's full of challenges. And this word from Proverbs just speaks to me today that if you falter in times of distress, how small is your strength? So here's the question. From where does our strength really come? Because if we have the kind of strength that comes from the Lord, even in times of distress, it will not falter because we lean not on our own strength, but we lean on Him. Isaiah chapter 40 verse 29 says, He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Then in the New Testament, in Paul, 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 9, this is a verse that we say in Celebrate Recovery a lot because we lean on its truth. It says, the Lord said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly in my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. I want to challenge you today to look at your weaknesses and then to look at Christ's power. To think about your own struggles, limitations, the things that you worry and fret over, and then to look at God's amazing grace, His abundant, infinite ability to call you out of whatever season of worry you are in, whatever circumstances you're fretting over, and lead you into what He has for you. And it is in this time, the time of distress, that our faith is tested, and it's proven whether the strength of the Lord is really the strength that's at work in our life. So I pray that you would spend some time with Him today. Draw from His strength. Actively receive His grace, because He promises that it will be sufficient for you. This is Pastor Jonathan with Robertsdale UMC. God bless you today. Grace and peace.